Follow-up Thursdays, we call them. You email us and you're like, hey, Bert, you know that thangy thing from the thangy thing? I never got closure on that thing. So will you do the research and give me some closure? Does that make sense?
100.
Yeah.
The way you described that with the thangy thing was...
Tommy said we had to keep it tight. That's all I got for you. So if you want to know what happened with the thangy thing, we'll give you some closure on the thangy thing. Just hit us up at thebertshow.com.
That's tight.
I just saved all the time. Why are you wasting it?
Supposed to be keeping it tight.
He made up words.
I'm about to do the recap, but I had to get some water so I can go through it really fast. Now, you all chill. Let's do this. Are you ready? Let's go. We last heard from Taylor on Tuesday, 2/9/21, almost a year ago. Because of the pandemic, it had been almost 1 year since Taylor worked in her office. Taylor's productivity improved working at home. Taylor and some of her coworkers thought it might become a permanent situation, or at least all employees would be given the option to work remotely indefinitely. So with that, Taylor moved 3 states away. She figured there's no reason why she shouldn't be able to live where she wanted to, since her job could be done anywhere. Nobody knew she had moved, including her boss. Taylor figured she wouldn't tell him until working remotely became officially permanent. Then she got a notification that everyone was coming back to the office, and she was hundreds of miles away. Taylor decided to be honest. She tried calling her boss a few times, but he didn't answer, so she sent him a text to call her. The boss emailed apologizing he didn't have time to call and told her he'd make time on that Monday in person. Taylor emailed back and said she couldn't make it on Monday because of some personal circumstances and asked him to call her that Monday. We told her that she needed to be honest and tell her boss before that Monday. However, the more Taylor thought about it, the more she realized that maybe honesty isn't the best policy. She decided that she would be honest and let the boss know that she moved and that she no longer was available to be in the office. She also decided that she didn't need to be honest about the reason. Taylor knew that they'd be upset that she no longer lives there. She also knew that they'd be upset that she didn't let them know sooner. However, she figured she gave them a sensitive reason for it all. They would be less likely to feel justified in being upset, so she lied. Taylor told them that she had gone back to her hometown to temporarily care for a sick family member, and then it seems my situation was going to be more long-term than I anticipated. It worked because her boss seemed very understanding and supportive. Taylor's boss even told her to take all the time she needed. So she was going to give it a month or two and then let him know that it would be best for her to move there, where she already moved to full-time, and request that she be a virtual employee. So what's happened since?
So what happened?
What? The thingy thing.
Can I eat another piece of cake now? I think I earned it.
That's what sugar does for you.
Uh-huh.
All right, so she leaves the state because they're working from in-home, right? Doesn't tell the boss. And then because there was a dip in COVID cases for about 36 hours, the boss is like, hey, safe here. Come on, everybody back in the office. And she's already moved out of state.
3 states away.
3 states away. All right, who's got the email?
I got you.
All right.
Hey, Bert Show. Thanks for checking in.
You gotta go faster, man. We're on
No.
time crunch.
I'm just kidding. I do not have that in me. I hate following you on these.
We got about 2.5 minutes, so you got to at least extend it that much.
Okay. Has it really been a year since
Slower. We're never going to make it.
Has it
Stop.
really been a year since I first contacted you all? Wow. Time does fly. As for an update, things are great. Really great. I'm still working at the same place, and no, I never did move back. I don't remember everything I told you or where I left off. However, I did end up telling my boss I had moved, but I kind of lied about the reason. I had told him that I moved to care for a family member, and he seemed understanding and told me to take as much time as needed. So at this point, I started working really hard. I didn't want to drop a single ball, and I really wanted to excel so that they could all see me working remotely while everyone else was back and did not hurt the company at all. Well, what I did must have worked, because a couple of months later, I went to my boss and said I was considering making my move permanent, even though I'd already had, and asked if the company would be willing to allow me to continue my position remotely forever. He said he needed to run that by his bosses, but that from his perspective, he saw no reason not to be able to continue. A few days later, he called me and said that my permanent virtual position was approved. I was so relieved. But it gets better. I continued to work hard and continued to realize that I was much more productive working from home. I felt less pulled in so many directions. I was saving so much time and felt so much less stress because I was avoiding traffic. I also saved time, energy, and money by not having to be fully put together each morning. For all these reasons, I continued to excel at my job and over the summer. I got a promotion and a pay raise. So things are great on my end, and I'm so glad I actually took the leap and moved to where I wanted to be. Hope things are great with you all. I still listen to you guys every day.
Yeah, I think the world is changing a whole bunch of different ways, and this is one of them right here. I think when companies take a look at like the bottom line and they realize, wait a second, people were still productive while they were at home, and why are we spending all this money on office space?
Yeah.
Is one. And the second one is it was never an option for a whole bunch of people. Had a pandemic not come along, the idea to work from home would have never, ever, ever happened. And I think a bunch of people are feeling the same way.
A large portion of companies have made the switch to do working from home because it just saves so much money.
Yeah,
Just makes sense.
I would not want to be in commercial real estate right now. That would be a bad career decision right now.
The Bert Show.